I'm just doing some injectors. Figure I'd go live for a little bit. Just out here doing some injectors and yeah, trying to stay more active on YouTube. I know I've been pretty absent lately. Trying to be better. Because I do enjoy making content, but sometimes life gets busy, you know. Let's see where we can set the phone. Kevin, what's up, man? How you doing? Where do you reside today? I'm trying to find a good spot for the camera. Up here, maybe? Would that be good? Possibly. Let's see. Like that? No. What's up, some dude? What's up, sup fool? John Elmore. Here from Maryland. Night flight? I wish. The weather's kind of shitty the next couple days. So I'm going to make some videos on the EG. Last night, me, Trevor, and Michael actually hung out. It was really fun. We took the motor out of the EG, and we took the motor out of the Deli, the $500 Del Sol. We took the engine out of it. And sorry if my voice is a little fucky, because I'm still kind of battling this cold for the last like week, which kind of sucks. But anyways, we took the motor out of both of those cars, and we had some good fun working on them. So that was cool. Kind of like the old days working on Hondas. But yeah, other than that, I want to take the motor from the EG, and I was going to put it into the Del Sol, so I can either sell the Del Sol, or I'll probably just sell the Del Sol to recoup some money, and you know, put that money into the EG. I think that'd be fun, because the EG, I'm pretty much going to strip that entire car. That's kind of my goal, and then I'm going to reassemble. So you guys will have that to look forward to. It'll be pretty fun. How am I liking the one wheel? It's pretty fun. I'm still learning, and I've only been able to ride it around in the shop because it's been raining, so that kind of sucks. Life is definitely busy. For all you are good. Thanks, Dawson. Thanks for understanding. What's up, BUA Media? Can you do a night flight? No, I can't do a night flight because technically under FAR 103, which is like the airspace or the aviation regulation that paramotors fall under, you can only fly 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after sunset if you have a strobe attached, which sucks because you can't fly at night, but it's probably best because, you know, you could run into shit. Mr. Toon, Mr. Hunter, Sergio, what's going on? I used your mounts in my EJ, super stout mounts. Thanks, dude. Yeah, they're super solid. I'm actually really happy with them, too. If you guys want a set of Hunter Toon custom motor mounts, I got them in stock. We want an all-wheel drive build. Well, the all-wheel drive, I actually have an all-wheel drive K-Series transmission that I just bought not too long ago. And we plan on putting that in the black EK hatch eventually. How is the baby doing? The baby's doing really good, dude. I spend about 23 hours a day with the baby and about an hour to myself. I had a guy comment on my Facebook yesterday and said, oh, you really need to be spending more time with your kid. But pretty much the videos I'm making and the Facebook posts and stuff is the time that I'm spending away from him. So it's not like I'm neglecting it, for sure. I love hanging out with him. And he's definitely super fun. He really is. And Christine's been doing really good too. She's been such an awesome mama. I wouldn't know what I'd do without her, honestly. The mint wagon has sailed. Okay, let's throw some injectors in the machine, guys. I got a couple orders over the weekend. I got a couple sets of 1,000 cc's going out. I got like 4 sets of those done. Now I have to do, I think, 4 sets of 1,500. So let's do some 1,500 cc injectors The puppy's doing really good with the baby. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of talking in this video because you guys can hear my voice. It's all fucked up. But let's do some injectors. I'll show you guys what we do. So I have these bags of injectors. When I get them from my supplier, they come in a bag. They're all bubble wrapped, and I go through and I put them in these little containers here. And then I go through the containers, and then once I flow the injectors, they get organized into my little ghetto ass table here. So I get them all lined up with what they're flowing. You guys can see all my markings on the wall. And I organize them, and then I reflow them a second time. So I usually check them. So this is how they go. Initially, when I buy them, they're already tested. But sometimes when I'm ordering 1,000 injectors at a time, there has been times where I have duds, or they need some work, or they have machining oil inside of them, etc., etc. So I always double check, right? And the variance percentage that is allowed from the factory that I buy them from is around 10 to 15%, which is kind of high. I wouldn't send something out like that. So I have my own little layout for like the 1500s. They flow anywhere from like 1400 to 1700, 14 to like 16-ish. And the thousands are anywhere from like 1000 to 1200. So we always try to pair them together, obviously. And that's why you guys pay for a matched set instead of getting something with some variance. So let's do a set of 1500s here. I'm going to pull these right out of the package. Right when I buy them from my supplier, they go right in my hand here. And we're going to go to the injector machine. Let's see here if we can get the camera set up anywhere decent. 1 second here. I'm going to set you guys up on my drill battery. How about that? Will that work? That might work. Let's try that. Okay. Turn that light off. Does that seem better? Okay, so I got the injectors in my pocket. We're going to load them up into the machine. And I've still been using this Tool direct injection machine. So we'll get them loaded up. And then we'll get the electrical connections plugged in. And then obviously when I'm done doing the injectors here, Christine comes out in the morning and she will package them, write up the flow sheet, and so Christine will come out in the morning and she'll do the flow sheets that you guys get, and she'll package the orders. So I get them out, I flow them, I lay them out for her, and then she packages them. So she's been a great help when it comes to taking some of the workload off of me. So we're going to let these things run. We're going to do our testing. And I have my fuel pressure always set when we flow them and we do the flow matching. It's always at 42.5 PSI, which is kind of like a pretty, standard. I need some overhead LEDs in here. I have some, but I don't like them on all the time because it gets really bright. Sometimes I like a little bit of twilight. So yeah, we're going to do some of these. We'll see how far off they are. We'll see how far off these injectors are once they run through. So for the majority of them, they're within, on this set, we are within about 10%. So I'm going to take my injectors out of the machine here. And I'm going to categorize them. So I'll take this one, which is there, this one, which is here, and I set them on my bench over here to the corresponding values that they flowed. And this is how I kind of do my system. So just going through here. Then we'll drain the machine. Somebody just asked about something about tuning. And then we grab more injectors out of the batch and we'll flow these. And then once we get enough injectors built up on the bench, then we can do some fine tuning with matching sets. Get these plugged back in. Get our pressure set, and then we'll do another cycle on this set. And while we wait for this batch to run through, we'll answer some questions. Sergio just installed some 1500s he got from me. Awesome. When will my phone tuning be back? Probably not for a while. I haven't been doing a whole lot of tuning lately with having the kid and stuff. I've just been focusing on the website mainly and selling parts. But you know, I'm gonna hope by like springtime I'll start be doing more. But we'll see. I'm kind of taking a break right now, to be honest. Quick question on the fuel rail on your website. Is it safe to drill out the mounting holes a bit? My rail doesn't seat on the mounting studs. Yeah, I'm sure you can drill them a little bit, but it's surprising that they don't fit. What rail did you get? Is it the K series? So, like I said, here's another batch that is random out of the set, or out of the batch of injectors that I get from my manufacturer. So we're going to, like, obviously these three are pretty close, and then these three are pretty close, but we're going to take these three, put them together, and these three together, and then once we get like a batch of 10 of them that all flow that, then we can really do some fine tuning. So now that I have I'll show you guys what I got going on here real quick. So now that I have some injectors that flowed right around the same, I have, like I said, about 10 of them or so in this line. We're gonna take all the injectors from here and we're gonna flow them, and we're gonna do some fine tuning to make an actual set to send out to you guys. So let's do that. I'm gonna grab all those ones from there. We're gonna throw them in the machine. And when it's a close set like this, we're always gonna do a little bit more testing as well. So we're gonna do high pressure test to make sure that the injector's open at over 100 PSI. That's usually the first test that I do. Sometimes I do it after. It doesn't really matter when I do it, but let's try this real quick. So when you get injectors that are really close like this, you're still gonna get a little bit of variance. I don't think there's any one injector that like is exact to another. There's always gonna be like a very, very, very small amount difference between the two, but yeah, so let's do this flow test real quick. Get the beakers drained out real quick. And we'll hit the button. We'll let them run through their cycle. Yeah, the wire hiding feature, yeah. That's awesome, dude. The top hats fit for sure. They're really nice top hat. I like them a lot. So yeah, we're running through these now. Maintaining good pressure, 40 PSI. All right, so here's the nitpicking that we do when it's a set going out to a customer. So like I said, I get sets that are out of the batch, and then I get them close, and then these are the ones that are all close already, which I could have just pulled and randomly sent, but I like to test them again, and we can really do some fine tuning here. And you can see this one's a little bit lower than this one. Sorry, the wiring's kind of in the way. But you can see that one's just a smidge lower than that one. Those two are pretty much equal. That one might be a little bit lower than the two on the right. So yeah, we're gonna find the set that's perfect. And then if there is any minor differences, I'll show it on the flow sheet. Like, hey, this one flows 1 milliliter more than this one, etc., etc. So now we can do a pressure test in a second, and we're going to pressure check the injectors, make sure they open at 100 PSI and all that. So yeah, you get all this service, guys, for a $200 set of injectors. I don't think you can really beat that, to be completely honest. I'm trying to deliver a pretty good product for the price. You know, they're not... You guys got to remember that the injectors are not, you know, I'm not selling a $1,000 set of injectors or a $500 set of injectors. I'm selling a budget-friendly injector. And I'm doing all the testing that I can personally on the injectors, other than installing every single set into a car. I'm doing pretty much as I can, you know, for the injectors before they get sent out. I'm not just taking injectors and chucking them in the, you know, random shit, just throwing them at you guys. I'm really trying to take the time. I've done flow testing now for the last 5 years. I started off with the decapped LS injectors, and now I'm doing my own custom line of injectors, which I think is really cool, and I'm very proud of it. So thank you guys for all the support. on huntertune.com and supporting me throughout. So the only other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about with the injectors is I've been selling the Hunter Tune injectors now for a year, like pretty much exactly a year. And there has been some small issues with the injectors that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And for the most part, 99% of all the injectors that I've gotten sent out, they work great, and guys are really liking them. They take a little bit more tuning than some other injectors just because they don't really have the database built up for like base maps and stuff like all the other name brand injectors do. So you might have to take a little bit more time playing around. But for the most part, I'm making sure that the injector is stable. It's not, you know, stuck or anything like that before I send it out. And, you know, like I said, just trying to do my part as much as I can and to try to deliver the best possible budget injector that I can. Anyways, what I was saying, the only issues that I've had so far with the injectors, and I've had a few get returned because of this, and it's where the injector will flow lower. Like say guys run them for a couple months, and then all of a sudden one of them starts running a little bit lower, or it starts misfiring or something like that. The issue is the filters. I wish I had one torn apart in front of me that I can show you guys. But my injectors have a pretty fine filter inside of the injector. So the injectors have a filter inside of them. And sometimes those filters will get clogged up. And I might be offering this as a option where you can get the injectors without the filters in them. If you guys are running good fuel filters and stuff like that, you really don't need. And honestly, there's a lot of cars out there running my injectors with no fuel filters at all, and they're not having issues. But the filters inside of the injectors are really fine, and they do get clogged from time to time if your fuel system's not really perfect, you know, which it's kind of hard to maintain a perfectly good fuel system with a car that's 30 years old. So, you know, it's kind of to be expected. But if you are having issues, just try that simple thing first. You can pull the filter out of the inside of the injector and see if it fixes any misfiring issues that you might be having. So with that being said, that's really the main issue that I've had over the last year, and the almost 1,400 orders now that we've filled in the last year. There has been a few where that has been an issue, but that's just something to think about. I don't know what the right thing is, to maybe change the filter design inside of the injector, or to not have a filter inside of the injector. I don't really know what the best plan of attack is, so I've just been rolling with what we got because it has been working, and I'm just kind of going with it because for the most part, 99% of the time, everything's been going great. Do you run O-ring on the end of an LS injector? Yeah. What is a stock a stock Honda set of injectors? Usually around 5%. 5 to 7 is what I see typically. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 3 and this one are going to be a perfect set. We're going to do a pressure check real quick and make sure that these things operate at over 100 psi. So we crank the pressure way up. All of them are still flowing perfectly. 80 psi. Sometimes the machine, if it's low on fluid, it won't crank up any higher than this. Like you can see that they're all operating perfectly. And sometimes I'll run them for, a couple minutes like this just to make sure. I'll run the pressures up and down, watching to make sure that nothing goes out of the ordinary. And yeah. that's probably it. So now I got a set of 4 I'll add to my collection, and then I'm just going to keep going and fill the rest of these orders for you guys. So I got a couple more to do. I got motor mounts, like I said. I got oil catch cans. I might do lower price on the oil catch cans because I haven't really sold a lot of them, but I do have custom Hunter tuned oil catch cans for you guys. And I also have wastegates and blow-off valves in stock as well for your turbo kits. And the adapters and the top hats and stuff and pigtails to run my injectors in your car. So just doing all that, and yeah, I don't know what else I got. Motor mounts. There's fuel line adapters. There's fuel line I sell. I have fittings for the fuel line. I got quite a bit of stuff now, guys. So be sure to go check out huntertune.com, and we'll be doing another video probably tomorrow. Removing the fuel filter does not change the flow rate if the filter is not clogged. If the filter is clogged, it will change the flow rate. But when I'm testing them before they go out, I'm using, it's called this test right fluid from Dr. Injection. And this stuff's like 100 and, it's like 100 and some bucks a pail. So I'm running this stuff, and this is like the proper testing fluid that you're supposed to use. It's very clean fluid. And this machine that I'm using, I've only used the brand new injectors in them. So I don't have contamination in my machine. And I know that because I've only used that machine specifically for the new Hunter Tune injectors. So, like I said, the filters are not contaminated before they leave, but when you put them into a car, you know, sometimes you can get some stuff that gets into the filter after the fact. So, you know, removing the filter is pretty much just going to bring it back to a baseline when it left my garage. So, hopefully that answers your question, Matthew. And thanks for watching, guys. I'm kind of exhausted trying to talk through this issue with my voice right now. So I'm going to leave it. I'll leave it here. I'll leave this video up on my channel, and you guys can go check it out whenever you want. And thanks for supporting huntertune.com, and have a great night and a better tomorrow, guys. God bless. See you later. Have a great night and a better tomorrow.